And welcome to Pitch the Tide Live. I'm Michael Biseglia, filling in for Sean Walchef for just a moment. He'll be here shortly. This is the Restaurant Technology Showcase. We do it every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and 6 p.m. London time. This is a restaurant technology showcase, so we like to have all of our community members. And if you're watching this live for the first time, feel free to email me, Mike at calibbq.media, if you want to get on stage. But today, we have Elizabeth Doss, animated GIF sticker artist, social media consultant, IzzyInc Studios, who's going to do a tremendous job giving her the platform to present and pitch the tide. We'll bring the community on after that, so team members will have an opportunity to watch Elizabeth pitch the tide and then give real-time feedback, what they noticed, what they saw, and just different ways to help Elizabeth get even better at this pitch and continue to grow and learn. So with that, I will bring Elizabeth onto the stage. Elizabeth, how are you doing? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I just want to first say, Mike, thank you so much for doing this. And he is pushing all the buttons in the background. So we are going to send him happy thoughts on the tech side of this. But I just want to be super thankful for doing this today, so we can get started anytime.
Yeah, no, I do appreciate that, running things behind the controls. So I will say that with one note, Elizabeth, you're going to do an amazing job. Looking forward to bringing the community on after you present, or while you're presenting. I'll start bringing the community on. An apology ahead of time that if you do get booted, I have to keep an eye out for the host of the show, Sean Walchef. So I got to maneuver him back into the studio. So if that does happen, I apologize, but do make sure you can watch on YouTube. Elizabeth is also live on her LinkedIn page. But with that, Elizabeth, I'm going to jump off the screen, throw it to you. We're going to bring the community on, and then we're going to let you pitch the tide. So have a wonderful show. All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So first off, I just wanted to say thank you to Rising Tide and talk a little bit about, we're going to be talking about restaurant technology today. And that's what this whole season is about here. And you know, when we think about technology, we're thinking about the data and the statistics and the other things like in the background. But I wanted to talk to you today about using your digital thing that you use every day and how you and your team can start to potentially use animated GIFs as a part of your strategy. So I do want to talk to you. I'm trying to change the slide. Mike, I can't do that. Anyway, but so GIFs really, yes, I am talking about GIFs, the same ones that you text to friends and family to make them laugh and smile and brighten their day. Go ahead, Mike. Because people use these GIFs for emotion. They're using them for pop culture references. They're trying to make an emotional connection with somebody on the other end. I know that sounds like maybe a little bit weird, but even trash talk when they're trying to pull in their favorite sports teams and stuff like that. So this is a language of our generation that people are using. And but what I want to talk about, go ahead, Mike, today is that you can use them in a strategic way as a part of your marketing toolbox. So brands can actually leverage using GIFs to be able to show up. And I'm sure you have seen GIFs in the past from some of your favorite franchises, from restaurants, etc. But I wanted to talk to you today about how you can use these GIFs. Go ahead. Mike. First off, I wanted to start off with a story. So how a branded GIF helped land a contract for a good friend of ours. So let's meet Scott Turner. Scott is the owner and operator of Auden Hospitality, and he helps restaurants and hotels be able to step up their game in the strategy behind how to design the restaurant, how to think through a customer journey from the moment they hear about the restaurant till after their visit and all of the in-between. And he does this beautifully and sophisticatedly. He's located in London, UK. And but Scott is always on the lookout lookout for that desired client. So he'll get on LinkedIn, he'll get on these places and he's meeting people, and there's people that he really would love to work with. And so he had this one person that he had his eye on for a while. There was a restaurateur that he knew was kind of developing some new concepts, and he was really curious about it. So Scott did something that I'm going to recommend to all of you, is to politely stalk the people that you want to work with. And so what he did was he got on LinkedIn and he turned on the notifications for this desired client. So anytime they posted, he was the first to be able to respond to them. So he would get that notification. Well, the client posted on LinkedIn and said, I'm launching my new food and beverage project next year, and kind of made this announcement. And Scott got this idea. He's like, okay, I know I want to respond. I know I want to give them this full, like, the full on, like, this is my moment to get attention. And we had already created a library of GIFs for Scott to be able to respond with. And so he's like, I know which one I'm going to use. And so you can go ahead to the next slide, Mike. He dug into his library of GIFs and chose this congratulations GIF that is a nice little champagne glass with a little bit of bubbles. And in the top corner, he has his logo mark as well as his website. So it is branded to him. We're using his fonts. We're using his colors. We're using this thing that represents him. And he developed this really nice comment and sent it off into the world in the middle of all of these other text like "grats, good job, sounds amazing" on a LinkedIn post. But here shows his sophisticated GIF in the comments. Well, within 5 minutes of him posting this, he gets a DM from this individual that says, hey, I've been seeing what you're doing. I love the comment with the GIF. It really caught my attention. Let's have a chat. That chat led to a multi-year contract with this person. And now Scott, and I want to make it clear, Scott's doing the heavy lifting because of his amazing product and services that he's doing. But this little GIF actually put it over the edge to grab attention immediately and start a conversation. And that's what we're talking about today, is how can you continue those conversations that are going on? So let's move on to the next slide. So my name is Elizabeth Doss, and I am of IzzyInc Studios. I'm a motion graphic designer, but also a social media consultant. And I love to marry those two things together in creating animated GIFs. Go to the next thing, Mike. I am a verified artist with Giphy. My GIFs have been viewed over 6.2 billion times. That's my personal account with my own little illustrations and things I play with. But I've helped over 50 brands and businesses create their own custom libraries of GIFs to be able to use across social media. And those that bunch of content that I have made has over 5 billion views as well at this point. Go ahead, Mike, to the next slide. So the power of Giphy is that it is serving over 14 billion GIFs and stickers to over 1 billion people every day. That means when people are typing in GIF search, they're typing in keywords and other things, and so over 1 billion people are doing that. And they're being served up over 14 billion GIFs a day. What if one of your GIFs was one of the ones that gets presented to them? Go to the next slide. So Giphy is fueling the back end, the search, because it's built into the API of most social media apps. When you're actually searching GIFs in Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, WhatsApp, Slack, and a bunch of other places, you're actually searching the Giphy libraries, whether it's for stickers to add to your Insta stories and your TikToks, or if it's in the comments, the DMs, etc. You're actually searching the Giphy library. So I help brands create their own verified brand account on Giphy to be able to be searchable. Go ahead. But they're also usable in emails, in websites, in text messages, on LinkedIn, etc. When you open up an email and it starts to play, whether it's changing color or there's something going on, it's usually a GIF, because videos you actually have to click on for them to start to animate or move. And so this is a really great way to stand out in your emails as well. Keep going, Mike. So imagine your brand showing up in Instagram stickers and in GIF search, so that it would be your content being able to show up there, but not just for you, for your team members to be able to use, for people in your community to be able to use, that it's already vetted by your corporate side, so that they're not posting anything that they shouldn't, respond with. And so it's a great way to have this library of interactions for the whole team to be able to use. Go ahead to the next thing. So I thought maybe we could play along today. So if some of you want to, you can grab your phone. I'll leave these instructions up for just a second. But if you head over to my Instagram account, you can go open up Instagram, search at IzzyInc, and we're going to this post right here that just says custom GIFs. You might want to turn your sound down. I realized after the fact that I probably shouldn't have put a post with sound in it. So turn your sound down. But what I want you to do is to go to where the comment bubble is, then the happy face sticker guy, and then the GIF button. Because through these next several slides, we're going to be digging into some of the strategies behind the Rising Tide members and how we have shaped how they're using their GIFs with their content. And so if you want to play along, you can. Anytime you see a black box or some words on the page, you can actually type that into GIF search, and you're going to find some of the GIFs that we are approaching today. So, okay, here we go. Let's go. Let's do this. Mike, go ahead. So one thing I want to talk about is that GIFs are searchable by keywords. So you can type in ice cream cone, funny, or you can type in a brand. So a lot of people don't know that you can actually type in a brand's handle within GIF search to be able to find their official GIFs. So let's take Starbucks. You can do at Starbucks and find the official stickers that people are slapping on their Frappuccinos in their Insta stories, etc. So there's an actual official account there. Same with at Wendy's, at NFL, at Hallmark. Like you have all of these ones, and we get to check out the ones from Rising Tide next. So let's keep going, Mike. Okay, let's head back to Auden Hospitality right here for a second. So one thing that Scott wanted to build was authority. And what better way to do that than in his brand guidelines? So we have his colors, his fonts, but also because we have animations and video included, we can pull out the sophistication side that Scott is wanting to be known for. So it's not just dancing bananas. I don't want you to think that GIFs are just that, but it's a way to establish this authority in what he's doing. And we'll talk a little bit later about thought leadership, but you can see here, there are phrases that are important to Scott that he finds himself repeating over and over to his clients that he is now able to share with his community. Side note, the bottom one is a sticker for his podcast. In Instagram stories, you can actually place a GIF on top of a link sticker and it's still clickable. So I create these custom buttons for people who have podcasts and vlogs, or maybe you have a coupon or a special at the restaurant or something like that where you're driving traffic to a different place. You can create a branded to you custom button to be able to do that. Okay, let's keep going. Community. So Richard Liverman is amazing at this. He's a mentor, he's a business leader, and he loves coaching people and giving little nudges all along the way. So when Richard pops on LinkedIn and sees that one of his clients is about to give a pitch, like, wait, what's happening here? Yes, this. He can send in the DMs or comment on it. Get in there, do that thing. You've got that. His cheers GIF is a great way to say congratulations, happy birthday, thank you, all the things. And of course, with his don't be boring, he is jumping into the conversation and making sure that you're making things interesting. But people have started to repeat these things and they become a part of the community that surrounds Richard. Let's keep going, Mike. Celebrations. Let's talk about Single Tree Barbecue in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Charlie Edlin. So this is a great way to think about it for teams, where you create these GIFs that are to celebrate a birthday or an anniversary or something. So let's just imagine that it's Dad's birthday. His favorite restaurant is Single Tree Barbecue. His kids take a picture of him. They post it on social. They tag the restaurant in it. Well, anybody in the restaurant, whether they work front of house, back of house, the corporate side, the owner, whoever, has access to these GIFs within their phone, so they can comment on these posts with these. So because you can search at Single Tree Barbecue, and then you can add a search term like birthday or celebration, and these GIFs will come up. And so it's a great way for you to have a collection of quick responses that your whole team can use that are already vetted by you. Let's keep going, Mike. Location. So in all of the GIFs, I add the hashtags on the back end of them when they are uploaded to Giphy so that when people search things, they find them. Well, one thing we've done for Singletree is to add a location title. So anytime, and you can look at the screen and learn how to spell Murfreesboro because I spent a lot of time doing that this week is how do you spell Murfreesboro? But when you type it in, you're gonna see that Charlie's GIFs are some of the main ones. And what's really cool about that is in that top corner one, you see he has a catering GIF, so that if somebody's typing in the location, trying to look for a nice Murfreesboro thing, they actually are getting a lot of information there of saying, hey, they provide catering. This food looks good. Here's the phone number for it. But also in the bottom left, you see I can create these business cards for you to be able to use. Like on Facebook groups, people may say, hey, I'm in search of somebody who can do a barbecue catering for 350 people. Does anybody have any recommendations? Well, you can comment with the GIF and really stand out from just the regular tagging side of things, but include this information there. Let's keep going. Keywords. So again, I said these keywords get added to the back end. So let's talk Troy Pooper and Pepper Lunch. So when you type in the words teppanyaki, Pepper Lunch, these GIFs are what pop up the most. Now, you may not know what teppanyaki is, but that's what they want you to know. When you think teppanyaki, they want you to think Pepper Lunch. But it's the same with Japanese food. When you type in that, some of these GIFs start to show up in there. So that means they've been chosen as the GIF that people want to use when they think of that word, which is a really great way to drive that point home. Let's keep going. Tutorials. So people can create a GIF that explains how to do something. Bubbly has cocktails that shows you how to use the bubbly water and make a cocktail. They have their own set of GIFs for that. But Pepper Lunch has these because there's a little bit of a learning curve in the fact that you cook your own meal. So Troy wanted one that showed that it comes to the table sizzling. You need to flip it. You need to stir it as it's cooking. Then you add the sauce and then you get to savor it. But there's also this onion ring one. This is a creation himself, where you have the secret menu items that you could add to it. So he likes to dip his onion rings in the curry sauce, like their version of French fries in a Frosty, I think, because Wendy's actually does have GIFs that show the French fry in the Frosty. But I wanted to mention, go back, sorry, 1 second. Last week, you need to watch Jason's proposal for Arrow Up training because they were using GIFs to train their people to remember how to drop a chicken finger into the hot oil, drop it away from you. So it's also a way that you can add some training to it. But talk to Jason about all what they're doing and check out the pitch from last week. Let's keep going. Okay. I couldn't help but do this as my last one, but to talk about at Kali Barbecue Media. So you can actually find their GIFs there as well. But something that I love to do with my clients is to climb into the brand, hear the phrases they're using on a regular basis, search through the FAQs, the things that they're repeating a lot. But with Sean and with the team at Kali Barbecue, they're really trying to drill home the point with their clients that to be the show and not the commercial, not to just sell stuff, but to actually bring people along and telling the story. Because like it says, no one's coming to tell your story. You've got to do that. So you can see how these little moments, and Sean has told me that he has DM'd these to people. He's sent them, he's commented with them. And it's, again, this nudge of that, but it's building that authority in thought leadership with it. So go ahead, Mike. So if anything I've talked about that you're curious about how it might fit in with your team, etc., please visit IzzyIncStudios.com. You can check out that QR code, but I'm also offering a discount for our Rising Tide members. It's 10% off if you use the code Rising Tide. And let's get started in the conversation of how GIFs can work for you and how you could animate your brand with GIFs. I'll hand things back to you.
Elizabeth, great job. Absolutely knocked it out of the park. Showing versus telling. That is how you pitch the Tide. Thank you so much for enlightening us. I love the fact that you brought us all into stories that we all know. Actually, I saw a bunch of GIFs. I know you've done GIFs for Scott. I know you've done them for Troy. I know you've done them for Charlie, but I hadn't seen some of them. And the catering story is another. I mean, what an awesome opportunity to tell a story, but to end up in a search result in Murfreesboro where I mean, it's almost it's an ad.
Yeah.
Like you're getting a free ad, which is really, really cool. Well, let's go around, introduce the community, the sharks, so to speak. Bruce Nelson, who are you? What are you working on? And what's your either feedback or question for Elizabeth? One piece of feedback or one question. You go.
Sure. Bruce Nelson, restaurant CFO. What I'm working on right now is a lot of 2026 budgeting. So
Ooh.
you want to know where you're going to go next year, you start now. Let's see. Elizabeth, I love this. I'm one of those guys that does all the numbers, and I'm not a marketer, but I'm the one who realizes that if we don't invest in this, we don't survive. So it was very informative for me to see that. I love the storytelling. It was nice for you to bring in some of the community people here, because I got to see another side of them. I really don't have any criticism of it. I think today I'll just sit back and listen.
Amazing. Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you so much, Bruce.
Jason Berkowitz.
Jason Berkowitz, longtime restaurant operator, partner, founder of Arrow Up Training, and appreciator of IzzyInc. Of Elizabeth doing a recall of last week. So that's awesome. And I appreciate it. Something to tie in what I'm working on today is we're building out a podcast that I'm going to launch soon, starting to put together some names, some titles. And yesterday in pre-planning, we were talking about thank you gifts. And there's some things that we're going to do and give to people in thank you gifts. But as you're talking, while trying to split my attention and completely listen, was that idea of taking the words, maybe if I can find a great sentence that they said in the show, break it down, tighten it up, get you involved, get a GIF out of it that I can then give to them, which gives them the authority to be able to share. So it builds their authority inside of their community, which helps that out. What an awesome, plus win. So that's what I'm working on. You inspired that idea. We're going to think through that. And I think it's amazing. And the only feedback that I would give is it's overwhelming in a loving way of all the things you can do with it. The only thing that I would include in your pitch is that you are 100% there as the guide to walk them through it, that you are an artist and carrying them through. And so that idea of along the way saying, and we're going to go through and look at some of the things you've said that you might have not even realized that I'm going to have fun turning into this GIF. And we're going to go, and that idea that they don't have to be the creative ones. They don't have to, they just have to share what they've shared already. And you're going to come in and do what you do and be that guide and be that artist for them. Cause I think that'll break down a barrier of like, what do I do? How do I use GIFs? No. Don't even think about it. Right. You just make that first phone call and we're going to get creative together and sort of offer that. I think that's a great piece to get people involved.
Yes. I love that feedback very much, because it's true that I love the coming alongside, and that they don't have to come up with that, because I really am trying to get a feel for the brand. But also I do a tutorial afterwards where it's a recorded session that's geared towards your brand, and we record it. It's unlisted on YouTube, so anybody on your team can watch it, and then you can jump to the chapters for specific platforms, even ideas for how to use it. So I do try to do that, like where I am coming alongside, where you don't have to figure it out and you don't have to know all these things at once. But no, that's really great. Really great. Thank you.
Bring yourself in as part of the moat, part of the sell and part of the moat of like, no, you're coming with me and I'm going to be there to walk you through it, because you are a huge piece of the brand to work with, right? And everything that you're doing and the branding. So awesome.
Yeah. One feedback for me is looking at it from a lens from sales, which I'm sure Mandy will, when she goes, have something to say. But we work with a lot of restaurant tech companies, and they're trying to get attention from restaurant brands. But thinking from like a sales lens of like, what kind of branded GIF could you make for Toast sales reps, where they're on Instagram and they're commenting, but it's not back to, be the show, not the commercial, something that gets them attention, but they know who they are, and that way they can like start a conversation. That way they can help stand out. But I think there's definitely a sales side from a marketing lens of how do you use GIFs, especially in the comments.
And
Dean LeBay,
you can go to one of the locals, like one of the local business development reps of a thing, and just, I don't know the time that it means, but you give them a couple, and you get them going, and you get them excited, and they show, you track that feedback and that, you know, that increase in sales, those KPIs, totally.
100%. Dean LeBay.
Hey, Dean LeVay calling from New Orleans, and Izzy did a great job. And man, look how far we've come since Clubhouse. Great presentation, and I want to kind of piggyback on what Sean was saying. Now, y'all all know my history and how much I know about Instagram, because I learned how to do Instagram on Rising Tide, believe it or not. But once you taught me how to do GIFs, the little bit of time I do spend on Instagram, I always do the delish thing, you know, because it's a restaurant thing and it's a delicious thing, and I've kind of wore that out, so we may need to get together on that. But I think Sean's correct, and what it is in the sales, from my point of view, in the sales thing, you know, there's enough cheesy salespeople out there, and everybody gets pitch slapped on LinkedIn. But if you can come across with authenticity and actually caring about the person through the thing of just a 5-second GIF saying, you know, listen, I was thinking about you enough, I wanted to send this to you, I think it goes a long way. And like I said, I'm so proud of you, and so proud of where we've come from on those early days of Clubhouse. So I would not be where I'm at today if it had not been for you. So listen, thank you so much, and I'll let the next one talk.
Amazing. Thank you, Dean.
Oh, I love that, Dean. And I wanted to say, I think we might need a Cali Barbecue Media delish GIF, don't you think?
There we
so
go,
that
yeah.
so that he can have a cost, you know, especially since he's a representative of the team now, so that he can start to show up and use them. Let's wear out those GIFs.
Hey, Izzy, I like that. You know, ink that deal. You just did it, right? Okay, thanks.
Ink that deal. That's one of my favorite. I use that one all the time, actually. Vincenzo, you're up. Who are you? What are you working on? And what's your one piece of feedback or one question for Elizabeth about GIFs?
All right, thanks, Sean. Elizabeth, great job on the pitch today. Very lively, electric. This is exciting to hear what you're focused on. Yeah, so Vincenzo here, longtime restaurateur, restaurant tech advisor, and investor. I guess the one thing I was interested in learning about your platform is what type of report can you generate for users that subscribe to your platform? Because I think that could be very insightful and really just drive the growth of your business if it's clear on, you know, my you know, system costs you X and it gives you Y in return, which is like a no-brainer, right?
Totally. So, well, one, I don't work for Giphy, just to be clear, but they do offer some bad reporting on the back end. So when you log into your account, you have a dashboard, and it shows you how many views that you've gotten over time, and that's a really great, you know, metric to have. And there's CSV files that you can download, so it talks about the views over time, but it also gives you an engagement percentage as well. So, and it in the engage, now this is when you're a verified account, which again, I, like Jason says, I can walk you through that process, so you don't have to worry about that. But there's a CSV where you can download the engagement account, and that gives you not only how often, it gives you a percentage for how, when that GIF is served up, how often is it chosen to be sent or posted, etc. And so, what's really cool is it gives you the term that was typed in to GIF search that your content was engaged with for that. So it's a really great way to start to kind of see how you could double down on some things. They also give you content gaps where it tells you these are things people are searching for, but there's no content for it. And so you can even start to think, okay, how could I make show up in that arena, as well as the trending, what are the trending things that people are that's going on, whether it's in the news or sports or whatever. It kind of lets you know what knows what's going on. So that's on the Giphy side. In the back end, you can start to see your most viewed GIF, your most engaged with, and then also the terms that people are using to find them. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, made a lot of sense. Thanks.
I also want to piggyback on what Jason, the gifting a GIF to podcast guests is brilliant. I would lean into that a lot more. As somebody that hosts lots of shows, just the idea, I don't want to steal it from Jason, but like, it's a great idea. It's like, you know, how can you give
a 3-month head start and then it's all yours?
Yeah. Well, I think, but the customized side is what makes it stand out, right? It's because like you feel seen, you feel heard. And if you can give that to somebody, the real challenge is how do you get them to use it? Because as a podcaster, it's one thing to, you know, create content and then to get somebody to even accept an Instagram collaboration of content where they were on. Mandy's shaking her head because she knows it's like you just need to get somebody to actually use it. But there are people that would really appreciate it. So maybe it's identifying those key podcasters or creators. Spencer, Michael, you're up. Who are you? What are you working on? And what's your question or feedback?
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Fantastic job. Great job. Oh, that's me in full color right there. Spencer Michael, backofhouse.io. We help customers find the right technology, help restaurants find the right technology for their restaurant. I love the interactive piece of your presentation. I don't know if I was the only one that went on Instagram and started to start searching GIFs, but I was doing that and following along with your instructions as well. And I thought is anytime you can get the client using the product in the pitch is always such a benefit. And I'm wondering how difficult, if you're going into a pitch like that, is it possible to do a live GIF creation based on there? I mean, let's take your company motto. Let's take something and let's do it right now. I'll pull up my studio, I'll create a little simple one. And if you want, I can publish it for you today or have one loaded up, ready to go. I research your company, and then I've got this one ready to go. So if you surprise, search your company name. There it is. I made one for you. I don't know how difficult that would be for you to do, but I think that would be such a wow factor in the pitch for everyone. And oddly enough, I searched up Toast point of sale. Sorry, the first one that came up was a Cali Barbecue unboxing of Toast, and the other one was Clear Cogs. So you guys are way ahead of Toast on this.
I love that. So I will say that Giphy has some pretty strict rules about posting other people's content to your account because they don't want to get in the middle of messy divorces of like saying like, I don't want that on there anymore, et cetera. And so they will shut down accounts that post other people's content. So like I can't post a person's piece on mine if that makes sense. So you kind of have to be careful in that department, but you could make a GIF and then they can use it on LinkedIn because anywhere there's a picture button on LinkedIn, whether it's comments, posts, DMs, you can actually upload a GIF, even newsletters. You can add a GIF to your comments, to your posts, et cetera there. So it would be that we can make one for LinkedIn that they would be able to use. But as far as it being searchable on other platforms, you have to go through a vetting process with Giphy if you're a brand, because they're wanting to make sure you're allowed to represent the brand that you say you are, that you are who you say you are, and that you're not going to create any content that's offensive, inappropriate, hateful, all of those things. Because they have, even though there's millions, billions of GIFs, they still have to vet everyone with human eyes. They may be doing AI now, but anyway. But so there's not really a way to do it except giving it to them. And typically I do share my screen when I do the walkthrough side of things, like to try to show people how to use them along the way. But yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Don't lose that interactive piece when you get people on their phones using it. I thought that was the most powerful aspect. So great job.
Awesome. Thank you, Spencer. Mandy Graziano, happy Friday. You're up.
Happy Friday, everybody. Mandy Graziano. I run a hospitality training company. Ooh, that is very close. I run a hospitality training company, and I am working on writing a new speech that I will release in about 2.5 weeks to a global audience in Vegas that aligns with my next book that comes out next year. So I'm in speech writing mode today, which is super fun. Elizabeth, I'm a super fan, right? And
Mandy, I need Mike to jump on here and testify that you have a slide in the presentation, but it was going so long, and I was like, okay, I already have one on thought leadership. I can't have two, but you are definitely up there because, guys, Mandy has these amazing GIFs that she has used in her presentations in the past, and people come up to her at these major conferences saying her words back to her because they've had that GIF rolling over and over again that never talk about the weather unless you're a farmer. What was something that made you laugh this week? Like, she has these things, and then even her books, we are able to promote her books through her GIFs, her sales tales book, etc. So anyway, Mandy, you were on the list, and then you show up and I'm like, no. Anyway.
I don't need to be on the list. I'm a super fan, but I do want to say, I want to piggyback on what Jason and Dean and I think Vincenzo was saying about the sales element of this, is that, salespeople need to be more memorable in the marketplace. And one of the greatest ways to be more memorable in the marketplace is, that little knock engagement on LinkedIn. You have a customer trying to engage with, you drop a GIF in there as a response, just like you gave that example of Scott. You may not close the deal like Scott did right away, but you are just reminding somebody that you are there, you are memorable, you are interested, you're in the field. And it is such an inexpensive way to be evergreen, reminding people that you're there. So I love this for sales. It's worked for me. It's worked for many, many, many teams that I coach. So just thank you for doing what you're doing. And I will say something that Jason said too is, Elizabeth, the process, when you walk people through the process, I have interacted with so many agencies over the years, and it's always a confusing, intimidating, stressful part of onboarding with a new vendor. Your process is so thoughtful and thorough and educational and really gets into the mind of the customer that the results are phenomenal, but you don't get the results unless you're doing what you're doing. So I would delve into that process a little bit more, because I think that's a differentiator. It's definitely a superpower of yours. I learned things about my own business from working with Elizabeth that I didn't even know were appealing until she asked and provoked and prodded and asked some questions. So I think your process, incorporating that more into your pitch, would be awesome. But I want to share I have some positive feedback. You started with the story, which was awesome. Great way to start, always with the story. And you showed results. Sometimes you tell the story and then what's the moral? You showed results of the story, which was great. I love that. And I like stats and stories, which you gave. And then, just like Spencer said, you created the interaction. I've used your GIFs a million times, but I even went through the process again. I don't know if you saw I did, but that creating the interaction is so important, and helping people understand how to use it. And then you gave relevant examples with all these different types of companies. You gave relevant examples of how people can use this within their own business. Because I think sometimes you kind of like Sean said, you can take the horse to the water, but you can't make the horse drink, right? You can take somebody through the process, but then you're actually helping them to drink it by showing them how it's relevant with their business. So I love that. I've one piece of feedback or suggestion, and then I have a question, is with Scott's, for example, since he had such great results, I wonder if you can throw a stat in there, like he spent X amount of dollars on these gifts and it resulted in $150,000 of new business. And maybe if you're not comfortable with sharing that, or he's not comfortable, you might say he spent 1% of what the value of the result was. And think about how much money you spend just at a client dinner, or think about how much money you spend at here, right? Like something I would love to see, that little piece of it in the presentation as well. But overall, it was awesome. I love it. Super fan. I do have one question, though, that came to me while this was happening. I'm curious what your thoughts are. This is an educational sell, right? This is a product that a lot of people don't know much about. They don't think fits into their business. They think GIFs are for their kids. They might say GIFs or GIFs. They don't even know how to say it, right? Like, you're educating people on a new product. So before you can get somebody to buy or even listen to you, you have to educate them. So what are you finding the most difficult concept for people to grasp when you are pitching this to clients? And I wonder if there's some way you can incorporate that into the pitch. Like, oh, I know that you all might think GIFs are for kids, silly rabbit tricks are for kids, whatever that is. Like, how do you incorporate the naysayers into it, or what is a difficult concept people have about this when they're pitching to clients?
Oh, that's a good question. First off, I didn't address GIFs and GIFs. I accept both pronunciations,
Oh, good.
but I am a verified artist with Giphy. They did a whole campaign with Jif peanut butter, where GIF is for Giphy, GIF is for peanut butter, and there's a whole reasons why that there's. But I love that it's a part of the cult following of it. The argument, it shows up in TV shows, it shows up in other places, so it's a part of the culture around using them. So don't feel like you have to say GIF in my presence. I'll accept it. No, so the question about the difficulty, it's just interesting to me because like it's hard to, one, people that hate social media, like I don't know what to do with you. Like I just kind of smile and be like, okay. Which I mean I understand, but it's where people are and you've got to kind of find ways to do that. So I don't know. I think the resistance too is that it seems silly or vain or like I don't know, like it just doesn't. It's like it doesn't matter type thing, and that's the hard part of getting enough time to be able to explain how the different ways that they possibly can be used. If that may anyway. So
I mean, to be honest with you, Elizabeth, I think the beauty of GIFs from somebody that talks to restaurant owners all the time about content creation and sharing your story and using social media, like the beauty of GIFs is that it is the essence of the brand or the person that is already created and it's custom, and it's a way for them to interact. It's a way for them to get involved on social media without having to create content. Like you create the content for them in their voice. And now guess what? You can play ball in the game. Like now you can get involved in the game. Now you can respond on LinkedIn, you can respond on Instagram, you can respond on Facebook in something that doesn't take a lot of time because you just go to your name or go to your brand, and then all of a sudden you can comment and stand out, which leads to sales, which is like, the hardest part is like, how do you just, so what's the ROI of social media? Well, in the Scott example, it stood out to that person and that client, and now he has a client literally because of a GIF.
Exactly. That was really good.
Mandy, that was awesome feedback, by the way.
Yes.
Really,
Awesome.
really well done.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. And thank you, Elizabeth. Keep crushing it. Gifts are life.
Thank you. Love it. Thank
Maddie
you so much.
Smokes, what's up, man? Welcome back. Who are you? What are you working on? And what's your question or feedback for Elizabeth Das, IzzyInc?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Matty Smokes, pitmaster, chef, and owner of Matty Smokes Barbecue and Catering, serving the greater tri-state area with great barbecue and hospitality, bringing the restaurant experience right into your home. And I'm also owner chef of JJ Cooper's Restaurant in Long Beach, New York, the city by the sea. What am I working on today? Still cooking and not delegating enough from your last episode.
You missed our how to delegate call. Our Wednesday Rising Tide call.
Believe me, I didn't have the time to sit in on it, but I made it a point that I listened in. I had my earbuds in on the line. So we're gonna work on that. But so listen, these Giphies, they're great. I think it's such a memorable way and unique way for us to show up, and allows us to, like Sean was just saying, show our message in many different times. It takes a lot to probably play it out as long as you utilize it in the proper form and the proper place. So I love it. I'm on board. We're definitely going to be talking about it later.
Awesome.
But so I guess my question to you is, when designing these in a different manner, whether it's for a person or for a business, do GIFs eventually get monetized? That if somebody utilizes your GIF 100 million times, you start making money off? Like, so would I want to be designing a GIF that says, that I'm Matty Smokes and it says it, but I smoke a lot, and then a lot of people out there, start utilizing that?
Yeah.
But it brings brand awareness to me, and obviously it being used many times is awesome. But does it ever turn into a financial thing?
They've tried, and it's failed miserably to do that, because then people didn't really want to use it because they don't want to pay for that. But then we got into the world of Creative Commons licensing, where people started creating fan art on Giphy of things from Disney, Marvel, like just anyway, TV shows, their favorite stuff. And Giphy couldn't, the only way that they could keep from getting the pantsuit off of them is that they had to keep it free, because then it is a community-based like realm. So they can't have, and they don't make money from, so Giphy, the corporation, does not make money from the GIFs themselves or that part of it. They get it by doing what I do, but on a larger scale. So for instance, last week, Ford Motor Company announced a huge collaboration with Giphy. And so it's a great way, it's so that's how they do it. They have these big corporate connections and sponsors. And so unfortunately, no, because I mean, that 6.2 billion of my views, I would sure love to cash in on that, but it doesn't happen that way because they cannot do that. So yeah.
So I guess when you're focusing on designing it, you're designing it whether it's for uniqueness and for yourself and for practical purposes, or if you're getting multi-use out of it and other people start using it, that it provides brand awareness for people to still recognize who you are and what you are through it.
Exactly. And it has this ability for your community to start using your content. If they know that they can comment with, I smoke a lot, but it's a barbecue GIF, then you start to build this kind of community around the way that you talk and the way you speak to your people and stuff like that. So it's a great way to double down on the loyalty side of your fans and stuff. So
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Just a reminder, anybody that's watching, listening, we want you to be a guest. If you have a restaurant technology product or service that you'd like to pitch the tide, we do it every single Friday. You can email us at podcast@calibbq.media. Pitch the Tide 926. Spencer is back of the house. Spencer's up. So please join us for that show. Every Wednesday, we also do a show. If you want to host the show, if you have a topic you'd like the community to discuss, we are always open to hosts and new topics. Let's go around, do tip, takeaway, homework assignment. Bruce, go ahead and start us off.
All right, this is excellent. When I started my restaurant CFO business, nobody told me that marketing was going to be part of it. When it comes to doing what I do, I've been doing for 30 years. I'm good at it, but I had no idea I'd be spending this much time on LinkedIn, doing podcast interviews and all this other stuff. So my takeaway is I got a meeting with my marketing guy next week, and I've got a list of things to try to tighten up my brand, but I just added Giphy to the list.
Yes. We need some restaurant financial GIFs, Bruce. There's no reason why you can't own those for sure.
We'll see. I might be the only one.
That would be fantastic. Well, we will use them. Jason Berkowitz, tip, takeaway, homework.
They say write a picture's worth 1,000 words. And then I was thinking like a GIF is worth 10,000 words. And then I thought, no one wants to read 10,000 words at that moment. So it goes back to what we do with where we use them in our training is minimum effective dose. And I think sharing that, right? Use that GIF is bringing a minimum effective dose is powerful. That is my final share, as well as to just say happy anniversary.
Yes.
Being a community of sorts, that's awesome. So I wanted to share that as well.
Yes. Congratulations, Elizabeth, to you and your husband.
Dean
LeBay.
Fantastic presentation, Izzy. My key takeaway is kind of a little bit about what everybody's talked about, but how could you say thank you better than with a GIF? I mean, basically, if you were to use it as a marketing tool or whatever kind of tool you want to call it, I think it's just a good thing to do. I don't know what the hell, if that's a marketing tool or whatever, but if you just give it to somebody and then you keep your name in front of them, and it's a drip kind of like a drip campaign. But no, I've been a fan of your work for a long time, and even though you did Winnie's GIF a while back, and so yeah, I'm just so happy, so proud of you. Thank you, and happy 20 years.
Amazing, thank you, Dean LeBay. Vincenzo, tip, takeaway, homework assignment.
Takeaway, I guess it's from what everybody shared here, the fact that Elizabeth drew everybody in to really just look at her Instagram site and get a sense of what she's working on. I mean, I thought that was a really great part of her pitch. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Vincenzo. Spencer?
Great job, Elizabeth. I definitely GIFs are fun. I think they remain fun, and I love using them. So why not add an element of fun and whimsy and joy to your brand? Because that's what they're meant to do. It's another way to convey your message, and it's a fun user experience when you get to add a GIF as a gift, or GIF as a comment or as a reply. So yeah, I feel I need to develop more GIFs, and I think with like Bruce, I have a mental note about adding Giphy to what we're doing at Back of House. So awesome, thanks,
Awesome.
Elizabeth.
There you go. Well, we know someone who can help with that, Spencer, when you're ready. Mandy, you're up.
Give the gift of a GIF. I gave my husband one for his 50th birthday. It's really fun. If you type in 50th birthday or it's halftime, son, his face comes up. But I've never done it for, I've never given a gift of a gift from a professional standpoint. So that was a great idea. And then Sean, and Elizabeth, you crushed. This is amazing. But I'm curious to now you've got at least 3 new customers on here. So Sean, I'm curious, is there some sort of metric for each week, the closing ratio of the pitches, or like a bar of $70,000 closed, 150,000, every week, there's a thermometer or something?
So the beautiful thing about this community and this show is that we can do whatever we want. So we can we make the rules. So if we want to do evaluate all of the pitches every quarter and figure out who pitched the best or who had the best close rate, or we literally are. This is our show. This is a community show. So we're open to all suggestions.
Yeah, I don't know, every pitch person, did you get any business? If so, was the total revenue? Just that's pretty. This is awesome.
Our ROI of storytelling, right? Well, we're definitely, just from the call, Elizabeth, our team will reach out to you, but we need some pitch the tide GIFs and some rising tides GIFs. We need a brand refresh. So you have more work just coming from our team. So great work. Maddie Smokes, takeaway homework assignment.
My takeaway is I definitely need some GIFs so that my comments can come off a little more authentic and me. So I got to look into Giphy. I got to reach out to Elizabeth, but definitely when she was talking about Charlie Eblin and posting on, all these feeds out there where everybody's saying, do you do catering and private events and this? I spend way too much time pulling together a picture and a comment and making sure that I stand out. So I think this could just be a very simple way for me to be one click away from giving a unique, good response. So I'm going to be on that sooner than later.
One click away. I like that. Elizabeth, the floor is yours. Close us out.
Sure. I wanted to talk just really quickly about the thank you. One I didn't add of Scott's is I had him record him writing thank you, because what is more luxurious than a handwritten thank you note? But we did it in GIF form. So when Jason brought up the thank you, I thought that was where he was going, but then he took a wild turn left, and I'm all for it, which is amazing. But to have that personalized thank you. And I just want to thank everybody for letting me have this. Sean knows how nervous I was about doing this. But so I really appreciate the time today to be able to do this and get out there and bring some joy back to social media. I wanted to mention Spencer really quick, because I didn't really get into this, that a great way to use the GIFs is creating scenarios of funny thing. There's a way, because you think about the GIFs that you choose from your favorite TV shows and from these favorite moments. And so even favorite back of house moments. And so I'm not trying to sell it right now, but I guess I am. But just this idea of what are these things that you can commiserate over with your team and have this way where they can all kind of laugh it off that, yeah, okay, it's just that kind of day. And so anyway, but I thought that was great. Anyway, thank you guys so much for your time. And Sean, thank you for this platform, for the opportunity to be able to, practice in a safe environment.
We as a community are so proud of you, and we couldn't do this alone. We have an amazing team at Cali Barbecue Media, but all of you that show up have been showing up since Clubhouse, since LinkedIn, and all the way to doing this show. And everybody, Laura, we see you in the comments, and Michael Potter, George, thank you guys for watching. Ungaro, he was on. If you're watching wherever you are, we want you to be on stage. We want to hear your story no matter where you are on earth. Every Wednesday, every Friday. We hope you guys have an awesome Friday. As always, stay curious, get involved, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Shout out to Michael Seglia, producer, keeping this show on track, keeping the community on track. Thank you so much. Great job, Elizabeth. Thank you, guys.